Good evening. It is Wednesday, January 17th, 2018. We are the Bitter Knitters. My name is Jacqueline. Arthur is here.
Hey.
And we have the return of Cynthia Whitestone, Southern Baptist white woman.
White woman.
So how's everybody doing? Everything's good?
Yeah. No complaints.
Yeah.
I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Congratulations.
My 17th child.
Well, that's great. I want to say, I don't want to go into too much detail in this, but I know Arthur is into conspiracy theories sometimes.
A little bit, yeah.
Ryan, do you get into conspiracy theories?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I've decided, I found a conspiracy movement that I 100% believe in. I'm going to get behind it. You guys are just, that's what you're going to see on my Facebook feed from now on, just spamming it constantly. I've become a girther.
The fuck?
What's a girther?
These are the people who don't believe the results of Donald Trump's medical checkup he had the other day. No, it's so funny because the thing says he was 6'3" and 239 pounds. But they have him in a picture next to people that are 6'3", and he's not the same height as them. His driver's license and his previous checkups had said he was 6'2", so suddenly he gained an inch, I guess because he's such the greatest president ever. He gained an inch, and he definitely looks like more than 239 pounds. People think that they made it 39.9 pounds because 240 is considered obese in the body mass index. Yeah.
Okay.
His ego would not allow him to be obese. So I'm a girther. I'm a 100% girther. I think that's a lie, and everything they released about him the other day is
interesting.
Yes.
Maybe he's just using alternative medical facts.
that is quite possible. We would not be surprised with that. And he apparently passed the cognitive test. It's a 20 question thing, and I'm just gonna give you a couple examples on this test because I thought it was kind of funny. Where's this test? Oh, this is not the one I wanted. Okay, so basically what they do is they make you draw a clock, and they give you a specific time, and you have to do that. If you can't draw the clock in a balanced way with the hands, the short hand and the long hand pointing at the right times, then you might have possibility, dementia or Alzheimer's. Then they ask you to remember 5 words. They give you another 5 words, and then you have to repeat them. And then later on in the test, you're supposed to repeat them again. I'm sorry. I can't believe that Donald Trump could remember 10 words.
Yeah.
That weren't huge, Ivanka. Yeah, exactly. Big list. And then they give you a minute and 1 letter. So say they gave you the letter H. You have to say as many letters or as many words as you can, starting with that letter that can't be nouns.
Okay.
And if you can get over 11, then you've passed. I can't believe that he got that.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. There's some other things too. I can't remember them all, but it was just, I can't. They said he got a perfect 30 out of 30. That's what it was. 30 out of 30. And I'm like, no way. Maybe I'm not saying he failed it, but he didn't get perfect.
Well, okay, so let's do that test on me. Right now, I am 5'11". I am about 120 pounds. Soaking wet. My boobs are triple D's.
Triple D's? It's pretty small.
Have a big round ass. I passed the test. That's it. I'm amazing.
And you're cognitive, Ryan. What's give us 11 words starting with the letter K.
Kite. Kid. Kale. Kaleidoscope.
Oh, that's a good one.
Kimberly.
Nope, can't do nouns.
That can't be a name.
I don't know. I ran out. What other keyword? Ketamine.
Ketamine is a noun. Now that's a name, isn't it?
It's a fucking word, okay?
Okay.
The fuck, bitch.
See, I'm just saying that even an intelligent person, a Southern white woman, had a hard time getting.
Well, the truth, and I'm not trying to shade Donald Trump on this, and I'm not saying I'm a part of the girther movement. But it is very hard. Like, even if I were to give you a very popular letter, let's say like C, the first
cat, caught, cat, caught, cancel, child, Christmas. Oh, no, Christmas is a thing. Candle, caramel, chances, calcium, cartwheels, Christian, I don't know. Catastrophe.
Is there a time limit to this stuff?
1 minute.
I don't know. You have 1 minute to
that's
name
hard.
them. Okay, yeah, that definitely
11 words? I just did 10.
No. But I mean, like, if you were to be given like a letter, like let's say Z. Oh my god.
Oh, I'm sure they wouldn't give you Z. I'm sure they give you like a T or an R. You know, pretty common letters. It can be like suddenly here's you. Come up with 11 words. Like,
I did 15 in a matter of 2 seconds.
Oh, you did. You were really good at that.
What else is on the test, bitch? Go ahead.
I don't know. I can't find the article now. Freaking I fucking love science.
Let me just tell you the problem with Jacqueline. Okay, listeners and podcasters and viewers of this beautiful show. Jacqueline.
There's many of them.
Jacqueline is a minority. And she doesn't understand what it's like to be Caucasian.
I don't.
Living in Caucasian lane.
I really 100% don't. Yeah.
So, you know, you're a hater. Okay. I love Trump.
Yes.
Grab me by the pussy, Trump.
Oh God. Oh God, gross. Okay, so let's go on. Now that I've alerted everybody to the girther movement, I hope to see most of you coming and joining me because we got to shed a light on the truth.
Yeah.
The truth. Okay, hear who sneezes. You guys all sneeze, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you hold your sneezes in or do you just let them loose?
Not anymore.
You read the article.
Oh, no, I figured this one out on my own a while back.
So there's this article that came out. They're talking about how people that hold in their sneezes can be causing a lot of injuries possibly to their bodies. So I guess we've all had our ears pop if you try to hold one in.
Yeah.
If you're like me and you've had children, if you try to hold in a sneeze, you might pee your pants. So let it loose. But yeah, a guy, a 34-year-old man in the UK literally ruptured his throat, a hole in his throat, because he pinched his nose and clamped his mouth shut to contain his forceful sneeze.
Oh my God.
I used to do that all the time when I was younger. I don't know why. Like, I wish I could tell you. Oh, I used to be very embarrassed. I had this fear of snot coming out, like when I sneeze, and like I don't have a tissue on me. So I would hold it in, and there was one time, I swear to God, I held my nose and like clamped my mouth shut, and I saw stars for an hour.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was like stars for an hour, and I was told it's very bad to do that. I didn't know.
Yeah, don't do that.
I swore I cracked a rib once trying to hold it back a sneeze. It was at a movie theater, and I didn't want to interrupt the entire movie, and it was a bad fucking idea. Like, it hurt so much.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So yeah, I've stopped doing that for a long time now because like even that one little experience into it, I was like, no, this is not good for you. Like, it can't be good for you to do this.
Just what I do is I either do the old elbow thing like we're supposed to do, or I just put my face in my shirt and sneeze into my boobs.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you don't have much boobs, so.
Oh, not at all. But I mean, yeah, and then you've got the opposite. You got the nasty people that just sneeze everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, but what if you have a very big, long beak? How do you hold it in?
Like a toucan?
Like a toucan.
I guess you just sneeze the same, but it's like at a very far spot from the rest of your face. I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, so I mean, and then like you can give yourself ear issues, not just your throat, ear, nose, and throat. That's all connected. You blow at your eardrum. I don't know, but that's kind of scary to see. You could literally blow a hole in your throat.
Yeah, that's odd. It's scary as fuck.
Be tasting blood then, man. That's for sure.
No, fuck that.
I love blood.
Yeah, but I'm reading here in this article, Kevin Pillar, who is a Toronto Blue Jay, he was on the 10-day disabled list because he sneezed and led to an oblique muscle strain. So that's the side abdomen muscles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he strained his abs.
Huh.
And he's in fucking great shape. What the hell? What's going to happen to somebody like me?
Well, I mean, if you think of like the force of which you sneeze, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's powerful, and to hold that back is just.
Isn't it like 40 mph.
Something like that.
I don't even understand what that means, but yes, it sounds like
it's something along those lines. I can remember reading something like that a long time ago. I don't know if it was like an urban legend or whatnot, but yeah, apparently you sneeze around 40 miles per hour.
Wow.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, right?
That's why they say don't keep your eyeballs open. I don't know if you could. Well, yeah, could you?
I thought that was the thing. It's impossible to sneeze with your eyes open.
Yeah.
I don't.
It is.
That's probably to keep your eyeballs in your head.
Yeah, I don't know. It can fuck with you though.
Well, your body does. It's funny how your body has automatic reactions to things. Like, you kind of just, you can't stop certain reflexes.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, now this is about coughs because we're in cold and flu season now. When you have the coughs that are so bad, you just end up with feels like your ribs are broken because your muscles are so strained on the sides.
Fuck yeah.
And in your back, that's the worst.
I've been there.
Jeez. Yeah, me too. I
was just there this last week. I was that sick where everything felt like I was just breaking ribs every time I coughed.
Mm-hmm.
It sucked, but yeah, no, you're dumb if you hold back a sneeze.
Yeah, don't do it. It's scary.
Yeah, no, I learned my lesson. I'll never do that kind of shit again.
Yeah. Okay, well, since we're talking about being sick, I want to talk about the story I had. We're going to talk about it on Monday, but we ran out of time. So Medicaid in Kentucky, the government is now passing a law, a requirement, I don't know what you call it, but they want to make it so that Medicaid recipients have to work or they face losing their benefits. People that would be, exempt from that would be retired persons, disabled persons, children, and students, and those sort of types of people. So kind of interesting. Pregnant women, of course, could not be, and primary caretakers of dependents and chronically homeless will be exempt from the work requirements. So you're talking about a lot of people that are exempt from this. They seem to think that there's a lot of people out there ripping off Medicaid, but from what I've seen on an infographic, that only 3% would be considered not looking for work, and 1% is an other. I don't know what the other means. So only 4% of the people would actually have to work to get their Medicaid. Do you think that's a big deal? And also, I mean, in Canada, we have free healthcare. I shouldn't have to, I already pay taxes, right? Why should I have to go and now work or volunteer hours to get my medical? Your country should be taking care of you. I don't know. This makes me very angry.
Here's somewhat kind of my opinion on that, right? A lot of people, again, maybe I shouldn't say my opinion because this isn't really my opinion. This is just a fact, right? A lot of people view it as that healthcare is a privilege. Now, whether I agree or disagree with that is irrelevant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a lot of people do view it that way. I guess the question that I always pose when somebody says that is, how would you feel if that were to be said to you and you could not afford, and we are coming to a situation where some people cannot afford healthcare on their own. It is very expensive. I know people who are paying $400, $600 a month for, their HMOs and their PPOs or, whatnot. It's very, very expensive. It is not cheap to be insured. And then sometimes to even just have that, you still have to come up with a copay or the deductible. The deductible sometimes is $10,000. And it's how do you come up with $10,000, on the fly? It is a problem that we're going through in the United States. And I don't understand how we are one of the only countries in the world that has the GDP that we, put in.
The only developed nation, the only first world nation that does not have free universal health care.
Even Cuba has universal health care.
India. You've got all these crazy places that you would think have, do not have any healthcare because they're such considered poor or developing nations. Yet they have free. You have 1 billion people in India eligible for healthcare.
Well, the question that you have to kind of pose nowadays is, should healthcare be a privilege? Should it only be for, I feel like a lot of people feel that way.
That's the problem, that rich people get to jump queues Rich people get to buy their kidneys. You know, rich people get to buy the best cancer medicines, and then the poor people get to live in a car because they got sick and they lost their homes.
Yeah, yeah.
That's ridiculous. I've had 3 major surgeries here in Ontario, and I've never had to pay 1 red cent for any of them.
And I just want you guys to know, in Canada, all those surgeries she got were to better herself in terms of looks. One was a facelift, the other one was a tummy tuck, and the other one was a Brazilian butt lift. Okay.
Yep, it really was. Yes, I'm super hot now. Thanks for letting people know how hot I am. But I mean, like, really though, I mean, if the problem is only 4% of the people in a very, very poor state, like think about it. That's one of the biggest states of with unemployment.
Yes.
Right. I think it is second or first, if I'm not mistaken. I have a friend who's from Kentucky, and she posts a lot of things about Kentucky. So this is where I read most of my Kentucky news. I get it from her. And she posted this story, and it's shocking to me that less than 4% of the people are actually unemployed that are trying to get healthcare. The rest are part-time workers, or, you know, they're already doing things.
But you know what's funny?
It's shocking to me.
You know what's even funnier, Jacqueline, is a lot of people don't realize the United States of America, these poorer states get their funding and their money from states like New York, California, these blue states, these mostly blue states fund their shit. But you hate on what you think are the liberals. You hate on what you think people who are, what's the word? Help me out here, guys. Who are open-minded or elites or
progressive
or whatever. Yeah. But they are the ones who are literally feeding your ass, fucking medicining up your ass, and paying for your damn unemployment and all this fucking shit that goes on in your fucking state.
Well, that happens here in Canada too. Ontario's, you know, makes the most money, but we send out our money because you have to spread your money. You give your money to the federal government, and it gets spread out across the
That's
country.
Not true. Alberta puts in more to our coffers than Ontario does.
That they're all this oil boom town.
And it's been like that for years. But to kind of what Ryan was saying about how, you know, the blue states, California and New York, because let's face it, those are the ones that really matter in that sense. Without the Midwest, who's growing your food for you?
Yeah, you need your Midwest.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. It's like it's a spread. It's a spread of wealth. It's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the healthcare in the States, you guys are fucked. You're fucked. This shit's you're fucked.
Convoluted. It's that doesn't make any sense.
No, it's the stupidest shit I have ever seen in my life. That somebody has to go fucking bankrupt because their kid broke their leg.
Yeah, or a panel gets to decide whether you get the medicine or not.
Right? It's ass backwards. Of course, I don't think that healthcare is a privilege and not a right. It's a fucking right. Our government owes us, you know, to keep us healthy. As far as I'm concerned, I will never, you know, there's a lot of things that I'm staunchly conservative on, but this one I am, you know, I'm liberal on this one. This is where I believe that taxation isn't theft. We owe each other to ensure that we are healthy and we are productive. We owe that to each other.
And that's not physical. No. That's not just physical. That's mental. If I suddenly have a mental breakdown, I can go to a doctor tomorrow and get treatment.
Yeah. Girl. You know what? Let me tell you something. Mental breakdowns, as you guys are very aware, because you're sitting with one who had one just not too long ago.
Yeah.
They're very serious. I was very oblivious to the fact of what a mental breakdown was when I was younger. Or before I had one. I was like, how can a person really get themselves to that point, right? Mm-hmm. And then when I had gone through it, I finally really understood what it was like to lose your shit. And I am fortunate enough to have had health care. But not everybody has that situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I hope that we start to treat each other as if we are, you know, distant relatives opposed to enemies. I feel like this is how we view each other in the United States. I'm not saying this in the whole world sense, but in the United States sense, instead of helping each other out, we're busy trying to one-up each other in terms of healthcare, in terms of this, in terms of that. It's
the problem with America's healthcare is you're never going to fix it until you get rid of insurance companies and really start from scratch. And because those insurance companies are worth billions of dollars, you're never going to get rid of them. They pay too much money to politicians.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
You know, I hear this argument a lot when the healthcare debacle is brought up down south and people use our healthcare as the example. And they always say, oh, yeah, but those wait times. I can just go to the hospital and spend my money and instantly. I've never seen somebody needing a triple bypass wait weeks.
No.
I've never seen somebody who needs life-saving surgery wait weeks.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of hearing that argument come from the Americans as to why they don't want universal health care.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that your taxes are going to increase, you know, state by state, depending on, you know, whatever factors they want to throw into the fray. But yeah. I'm sorry, this shouldn't even be a fucking debate anymore.
Yeah.
Like it really shouldn't. Yeah. And this is the one thing that I really took offense to when 45, you know, apparently called country shitholes. He said, we want people from places like Norway to come here. Well, no one from Norway is ever going to come there because they're now at a fucking deficit. They now have to pay for their healthcare, ridiculous amounts of money. Why would somebody who lives in a place with socialized healthcare and one of the greatest qualities of life through that want to fucking relocate to, no offense to the U.S., your fucking shithole. The shithole that your almighty fucking dollar has put you in.
Yeah.
You know, it's, I don't know. Like, I have no solution to this. I honestly hate thinking about this because it's just, to me, it's just so fucking stupid. Like, how they even got themselves in this fucking hole in the first place, to me, it just blows my mind. Like, how do you do that? How do you fucking sit there and look at sick and starving and dying fucking people as something that you can profit off of?
Oh my God! You know, that's a conversation for another time for me because it's the way that people function.
I know
it's just the way that people literally think here.
You look at. It wasn't even like it was an old time thing that happened. It was modern times when our healthcare came into effect.
Yep.
No, Tommy Thompson did it in what was it, the 30s or the 40s?
I want to say closer to the 40s.
Yeah.
But
I mean, so it wasn't like this has been around for 300 years at the beginning of our country. You know, it can happen. I'm sure it was chaos when it happened.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but something has to happen. I mean, it blows my mind that people literally can die because they're too afraid to go to the hospital because look, the video came out last week of the freaking Baltimore hospital dropping a woman in her nightrobe and slippers, those little paper cotton slippers that they put on you, in freezing cold temperatures at a bus stop. They put her out there. She's still wearing the wristband. She didn't have a jacket. She didn't have mittens, nothing. And the only reason she didn't die in that bus stop is because somebody saw them do it and they called 911 and brought her back to the hospital.
Holy shit.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, that was all over my Facebook last week. That literally happened. That's not the first case of this shit happening. And, you know, we have long wait time sometimes. I got a breast reduction, you know, over 10 years ago. I waited a year to see my...
That's not a long wait time, by the way.
But I wasn't in duress. I wasn't, you know, close to death. I know a guy who got diagnosed with testicular cancer on a Friday, and by Sunday afternoon, they had removed the testicle with cancer in it. So you don't wait if you're in danger, if your life is in danger.
No.
You know, you get put at the head of the line, and the people that aren't in danger, they get pushed down to the bottom.
Yeah.
You know, and it's unfortunately sometimes you're waiting for a MRI for a long time, but if you're not about to croak, you can wait a bit longer.
That's something like that actually happened to me when I was young. I broke my arm skateboarding, and we got to the hospital maybe around like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I didn't go for my x-ray until around 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. But that's because it was the emergency room and people with actual fucking emergencies kept coming in. So I got pumped. I have no beef with that. Yeah, it sucked. It hurt like fucking hell. I mean, my arm was fucking broken, but I mean, I'm sorry. I'm willing to deal away with some of those kind of freedoms for the fact of, you know, not going bankrupt because I got fucking sick.
Well, instead, in the United States of America, I know a person who was punching the bathroom tiles in the bathroom because they were drunk.
Yeah.
And was able to get that fixed right away. But yet, that woman who you were talking about on Facebook, and I saw the videos, was dropped off. Yeah. Because she probably
didn't have insurance. She didn't have insurance. I think she was probably a little bit mentally ill. She was homeless. I think she was homeless. Right? Yeah, and they literally just put her out on the street like a piece of garbage.
This man that I am referring to, who I will not name, was able to get cared for and lie to his job about why he actually broke his fucking hand.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the thing that's most like kind of like just completely disgusting to me is the fact that people aren't really treated like fucking people with the American healthcare system. They honestly don't look at you as a human being. They look at you as profit. They look at you as a profit. And to me, that is just, it's gross. That's not, it's just not right. That's not how, it's just not how you fucking, we should live. It's not how we should be, right? Like, I mean, if the quality of life is better for all of us, then we all start doing a little better. We all start acting a little better. We start fucking contributing a little more.
But the truth is, people don't look at it that way. Not, at least I don't think so in the United States. You think of, you know, a lot of people in the United States, they think of immigrants as, oh, these people come here and they take our jobs and blah, 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 blah. But little did you know that those people that you barely pay any money to are the ones that are making your cost for strawberries.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. When you got to pay $6 for an avocado, you're going to be really upset that there's no Mexicans
very upset, exactly. Right. Or the fact that your dining out experience is cheaper than typical because the busboy isn't paid as much money as, you know, let's say if we were to employ Jacqueline Fraser, who, let's pretend. Oh,
thanks for saying my name. Now my identity is going to be robbed. Not really that much of a secret to people who listen.
To who's Jacqueline, who let's say is an American citizen, who we have to pay now in New York at least, it's $13.50 for minimum wage. I'm not excusing what people call a crime when you migrate to better your life. I'm not excusing that at all, right? That's not my point. People do not understand the trickle down effect when you think of people, or when you think of stuff as profit. You know what I mean?
That's my biggest beef with it. It honestly is. That's always been my biggest beef with how you guys run your healthcare down. And I, you know, not to put you in that category, you know what I mean? But you're there, you live it, so whatever. But it's the thing that really bothers me about how the Americans run their healthcare is you're not looked at as a human fucking being. No. You're really not. They could care fucking less about you. Not to say that here the doctors, oh, they love every patient, whatever.
No.
But I've never gotten the feeling that I'm just cattle to them. That I'm, you know what I mean?
But the truth is, Arthur, if you entered this field, the medical field, to become a doctor, to become a nurse, to become whatever it is, your job should not have to be profiting. You took an oath stating that you were to take care of the public. If you came into this job thinking that all you have to function from is profiting from it, you're in the wrong field. Because these people have life stories. We are not numbers. You know, that is the truth. We're not numbers.
Even a homeless person, even somebody who smells, even a mentally ill person, they deserve dignity.
Absolutely.
You know, and if you're seeking medical help, you especially need dignity, because now you have to get naked. Now you have to talk about personal things that might be uncomfortable. You know?
Yeah, the person who decided that they were going to be drunk and go into a fit of rage and start punching the fucking bathroom tiles. Got his hand fixed like this.
Yeah. But the other thing about this Kentucky Medicaid thing is now you have to work a certain amount of time, or you have to be required to volunteer. I have a real problem with forced volunteering.
Same here.
You have to do it here in Ontario to graduate. Kids have to do their 40 hours or whatever it is.
40 hours.
I don't feel like if you're forced to volunteer, you're learning anything from it.
Not at all. No, not in the least.
Yeah, it really bothers me. And to force someone to volunteer to get their Medicaid, I don't know. It something doesn't feel right there.
Like, this whole fucking thing doesn't feel right. When the rest of the world is operating under the banner of universal health care for all citizens of that country. Now, I'll agree. The Americans don't owe me free health care. They don't. No. You know what I mean? Even if I'm in the States and I get injured, I can understand to pay for that.
Yeah, 100%.
But you can't treat your fucking citizens this way. You can't. And expect people to be happy and be productive and live decent fucking lives. I don't know. I mean,
I can't. At what point are the American people just going to keep taking this sort of thing? When are they going to fucking rise up and be like, no more?
Oh, they're trying, but they're, as far as I'm concerned, they're trying within the wrong things.
Yeah.
Like, realistically, like, a lot of the stuff that I've seen people get into the streets, except for maybe the police brutality one, which I think is, you know, a very noble cause to get behind.
Yeah.
A lot of the shit I see people marching for, it's like, no, this isn't the problem. Your preferred pronoun should not be what you're getting into the streets over. The fact that your mother can get diagnosed with fucking cancer and die because you guys can't afford the $500,000 fucking price tag.
And then you all lose your houses too.
Right? That's what you should be marching in the fucking street over. And I'm not one to tell people, you know, the cause they should take up. I'm not. You know, if you're passionate about it, fucking take that cause. But I the last couple of years watching, you know, and a lot of people in the streets, a lot of fucking people in the streets barking at fucking Trump Tower. No, your anger is correct, yes, but there's other fucking things that you guys should be trying to fix other than...
While you're mad at Trump,
you know,
here comes your new tax laws. While you're mad at Trump, you know, grabbing them by the pussy or lying about his weight, right? Here comes the health that they keep trying to pass, these health laws.
Exactly.
You know, he's great at distraction. You know, the Republicans actually really went out with him because he distracts the people while they do their evil agenda.
Oh yeah, it's sad, but to me that's the one where, and I mean this to me isn't even a political fucking party cause.
No,
this isn't one that I think is a Democrat versus Republican.
Everybody should be out. Every single person in America, unless you're one of these rich elites that can afford to go to the hospital.
Yeah, who doesn't care?
Jump the line.
Who only looks at it as, oh, well, this just means my taxes are going to be higher and I shouldn't have to foot the bill for poor people. Go fuck yourself. Like, flat out.
You know what?
Absolutely should.
You should, because that's, you know, you go to, we'll talk about Norway again. It's consistently in the top 10 for the happiest places in the world.
Yep.
Because like you said, when you live a good quality of life, when your neighbor has a good quality of life, you guys can come together and you're not you know, what's that word I want to say? You're not fighting over stupid little things.
Exactly.
Right? You can come together and you can say, nope, we're getting our health care now. We want it now. Nope, now we want free education and let's make it work.
Like, you think people in France could protest as much as they do, and France is like, they're king shit when it comes to protesting. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Oh,
no one's ever
protest like amazing,
right? Like, no one's ever going to compare to how the French fucking get in the streets and get rowdy. But you think if they had to fucking deal with some of the shits the Americans were dealing with, they'd ever have that opportunity, that chance to go and express their feelings? Fuck no, they wouldn't.
Is he at the hospital dying?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's one thing that's really always bothered me. I can't say that I've ever really looked too much into it because it just fucking pisses me off to my core. It just goes against what I think of as, like country.
Yeah.
Us being civil with one another. It doesn't work.
When I was trying to get my breast reduction, looking into it, I joined a forum. Remember forums back then?
Yeah.
And it was people from mostly Canada and America, and I would see so many women with breasts bigger than mine who would be turned down by their insurance, and they would be devastated because there's no other. Now you have to save up $12,000.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a lot of money to save up for the average person. And you know,
yes, it is.
It's really sad because it's not just a physical thing in this case for me. I mean, I know what it was like for me to have my breasts, and they really did mentally hinder me as much as they did physically hinder me. And my heart would break for these women who couldn't get it.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
I feel that way for anybody. I really do. Like, again, you need to keep your citizens healthy and happy. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You have to do that. Your government owes that to you. As far as I'm concerned. Like, seriously, they fucking owe that to us.
I've always felt like the government needed to function for the people because it was made by
Isn't it we the people for the people?
Yeah, supposedly. But apparently that's not how it works because the people that we keep putting into office are these... Never mind.
But at the same point in time, though, I have always kind of understood why the allure of big fucking insurance money gets to them, right? I mean, if you're going to sit there and say, hey, you know, I'll donate fucking $38 million to your fucking campaign if, you know, you keep the insurance scam going because it's a fucking scam. I'm like, yeah, okay. That's a shitload of money. I think I might be into that. You know, I get that. I get it from that aspect, but I mean, it's fucking enraging, and I don't even have to deal with it. I just have to hear about it.
I know,
and it fucking pisses me off.
It blows my mind. Like every time you hear a story about something like that, you're just like, you know, oh yeah, this kid couldn't get their vaccinations, so they died. Or this family's living in their van down by a river because, you know, daddy got sick. It's just, it's like, what the hell is wrong with this country?
Insane.
The greatest country in the world. And, you know, it's awful to say. And I don't want to be like down on Americans. I have American friends that are wonderful people, and I know they have dreams the same as the rest of us, right? Every step forward they make, it's like 2 steps going back. And it's not even just this president.
No,
it's the governments that they've had, Democrat and Republican governments for the last 60 years.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're definitely not wrong. Like it's you can see it. It's completely observable. Like you don't even have to be that fucking intelligent to see it. Like it's right there in front of our fucking faces.
Yeah.
That they are. You guys are fucked. Like you really are. And I mean, I cannot see any fucking way to fix this, except for like a complete overhaul of everything that you guys hold near and dear, and have fun with that.
Yeah.
Right,
like, definitely riding in the streets.
Yeah, like have fun with that, because that's not going to be a fucking easy.
Well, and part of the problem is people aren't educated. Like you talk about somebody like Ryan. Ryan meets up on these stories. He knows what's going down.
Yeah.
We talk about my friend Justin that we do our show with on Sundays. He knows what's going down. But I have other friends who have zero interest in voting, have zero interest in, they don't watch the news, they don't read the news because it's depressing or they don't care. Many different reasons. And it's like, but without, some sort of information, without education, you're just a sheep for the masses, and you're not nothing.
But
nothing's going to change when people don't know.
A lot of people seem to think that education is having to sit in the school and informing yourself for God knows how many years.
Yeah.
Being educated and being knowledgeable is literally knowing what is going on, not just in your world, but a little bit outside of that world as well. A lot of
100%, yeah.
A lot of people don't know. I know some very educated people, no shade thrown at these people, but who have said to me, "How does that even function? You don't know the basics about how government functions. That is nothing. Like, how do you not know how powerful your president could be by just pressing a big old button, like he said, and sending a fucking, sending us into nuclear war?"
Well, and him talking about the button. He doesn't even have a button. He's the president. He's in control of these bombs, and he doesn't know he doesn't have a button on his desk to press.
Yeah. But I mean, at the same point, the thing that really, this should piss off everybody, is that those people that are, like you were just saying, who are just willfully uninformed, their vote still counts the exact same as yours.
I know.
Their voice is worth just as much as yours. And
and they fuck themselves over again and again.
Yeah, and you can't argue that fact. You can't. Like, they have the right to have their voice
heard. Of course
they do.
And, I would never say to take away someone's vote, but as much as I might want to.
It's funny as hell when you really start thinking about that these fucking complete uninformed asshats have the exact same power that you do by staying informed. It's
yeah. Well, we saw that with Brexit, right?
Yeah.
When all the people Googled the next day, "What is Brexit?"
Yeah, exactly. They just voted because it had a sweet tagline.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, Brexit has a good ring to it. Like, it's just one of those things that's got a good ring to it. Like, it sounds like something that could be fun. No.
Well, since we're talking Brexit and we're talking UK, we'll talk about this quickly. I'm not going to get into too much detail in it, but I just thought it was kind of funny that this situation happened. So there's a political group called UKIP, right? The UK Independence Party. Their leader of the group, he had a girlfriend whose name was, let me see what her name is, Jo Marnie.
Okay.
She sent some private text messages to a friend.
Yeah.
And in them, she said some pretty nasty things about Meghan Markle, as Harry's fiance. She said she was ugly. She said that black people are usually ugly. She said that it's basically going to ruin their country. Yeah. All this horrible stuff, right? This is Britain, not Africa. What's next? A Muslim PM and then a black king. But she said all this thing. So she was then suspended from the party. Now, she didn't hold anything. She was just like, how you join the Liberal Party or you join the Republican Party, you get to vote. She's now been suspended from that group, and she's not going to be able to vote during the next, voting thing. She got dumped the next day by her boyfriend, of course. But the funniest thing about this girl, who has the nerve to say, and I'm not a Meghan Markle fan, I think she's just average in looks. Not because she's black, just because she's just basic looking. This girl looks like one of those stereotypical rich, freaking upper crust blonde.
Yeah.
women from England with the horsey face and the buck teeth and, you know, the horrible fashion. And she has the nerve to criticize Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle's 20 times hotter than this chick. That's for sure.
Okay, this is all I'm going to say. I think you're jealous because I am a part of that upper crust, but I don't have a crusty pussy.
Well, get your buck teeth fixed, okay? And
no, but a lot of people have had a lot of opinions over Meghan Markle, and this uphill battle that she's going to have to, you know, to be with the person who she wants to be with. We're assuming she wants to be with Harry, right? It's an assumption on our end.
The ring and made a date, so yeah.
Well, no, I'm saying it's an assumption on our part as well. But it's kind of disgusting how we are still in a time where people can freely, I mean, you should be able to. I mean, it's a right for you to be able to say that, at least in the United States of America.
Yep.
It's a right.
Yeah.
But for you to think that it's okay is the part that bothers me the most.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, for you to think that that's an okay opinion to have annoys the crap out of me. Because it's not okay. It's really, really not okay.
It's not. And it's not nice to voice. Now, my thing with this is she's not actually a member of parliament. This was a text message between her and I would have assumed a friend, and her friend made those public, so not a good friend.
Yeah.
I know about those.
You know, I mean, she didn't ask for any hate speech. Like, she didn't say we should kill her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with her comments, but shouldn't she be allowed to have her comments in a private text message?
I agree. No, to that degree, though, I agree with that. She did not mean to put that in a public forum. Her privacy was breached by a person who thought... Here's my issue with a lot of people who seem to think making something private public is okay. You're a dick for doing that. You're a moron for doing that. Not only have you now made this, I'm sure, somewhat semi-decent person, you know, outside of that, because we also don't know the context it was said in. Maybe it was said jokingly. Maybe she was repeating something. I'm not defending her. Please, do not attack me.
No, I don't think. But it doesn't matter. She's entitled to her opinion, whether we think it's apparent or not. She's entitled to her opinion. And like I said, she wasn't trying to raise hate speech. She wasn't trying to be, you know, let's kill Meghan Markle and all the Africans and Muslims. She wasn't saying that.
There are messages that I sent to some of my friends that are, I'd like to think that would stay between my friends and I, that are meant to be really jokingly, because there are no intonations behind it. It's just a bunch of text. It could be easily misconstrued. And it bothers me because, you know, recently it's happened to me. You know this, Jacqueline. It happened to me very recently. And I know what it's like to have a person make something private be public. And it bothers me. You know what I mean? You fall into the trap of people thinking you don't know how to filter yourself. I didn't know I had to filter myself when I was speaking to Jacqueline. I didn't know I had to filter myself when I was speaking to Arthur. I thought we were friends.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, and that's what kind of bothers me about this, that this girl has been left out to dry, and I'm not defending her either. She sounds like a horrible person. But, you know, are we not allowed to expect privacy in some degree?
Yes. Oh my God, absolutely. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
What I say to you in private is private.
Oh, absolutely.
That's it.
There's I'm not taking freaking screenshots and sharing it online.
Exactly. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. If it's shared privately, it's fucking private. Now, I say this all the time. I do believe that everyone has the right to be as racist as they fucking want to be. Flat out. Yeah. You have that right. You want to be a racist, be a fucking racist. But you shouldn't go unchecked.
Repercussions to it.
Right? Yes. You should not be able to go unchecked from your fucking racism. But if you want to be a racist, by all means, fucking go for it.
Yeah.
But no, it's true. Like, for that to be... to have been shared privately and this lady make it public, which again, still to me, like, because I don't feel like she was doing it out of the good of her heart.
Yeah.
Right? I really don't think she's like, oh my God, she said some really abhorrent things. You know, I got to be the bigger person and you know, bring this to the fucking light. No, you're trying to get some clicks. You're trying to get some notoriety.
Yeah. And the only reason she did it was because it's the girlfriend of the UKIP leader. Right? If she was just Mary Jane Smith and had no kind of fame, that just would have been...
We would have just thought it was funny.
Well, it would just would have been her and her friend would have just went about it, and her friend did call her racist at one point, right? But that would have been it.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of want to, if you don't mind, Jacqueline, if we have a little bit of time, I kind of want to elaborate on this. Yeah. I think those kinds of people are despicable. There are things that we all say, whether it's in a joking manner, in a serious manner, whatever the context is, it's private, that we say to each other, that you're just not meant to put out there.
Oh, no.
Number one, it's not your business. I'm sorry, go ahead, Arthur.
No, I'm just agreeing with you. Not at all.
Yeah, we agree.
You know, first of all, it's not your business to have to spread my stuff out there. And number two, you should always give that person the right to be able to explain themselves.
Yeah.
And say it in their way of thinking opposed to you coloring it. Because then what you end up doing to the other person is you paint them a picture that may not necessarily be true. It may be closer to false than it is to truth. You know, it's like, for example, I said to Arthur, how do you say this? I was thinking of cheating on my partner.
Mm-hmm.
He then went ahead and spread that business to somebody else.
Yeah.
That got back to my partner. But by the time it got to my partner is now under the assumption that it's happened.
Yeah, exactly.
All I said in private was, I'm thinking of cheating on my partner.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened, but it becomes this long, drawn-out thread of something opposed to it just being what it was. It just was a thought. It was just, you know, we all have a right to think and or say something, whether it be negative or positive, whatever it is. It doesn't matter in this context, right? I'm not defending anybody, but it is, I think, really sickening that some people can just take what you say and turn it into something that it probably was not.
Well, and what's to say about our society? And I'm not just blaming one person. I see this in a lot of situations. What does it say about our society that we're so quick to share private messages on social media or on the news or stuff like that? It's kind of sad.
Even between two other people. I can sit here and talk and shooting the shit with one of my friends on Facebook, like through Messenger, and they start sending me screen caps of another conversation.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Right? To me, that's a gross invasion of someone's privacy. Like, I am talking to you. This is for you. Yeah. You know, it's not to be shared. To me, I find it all disgusting.
Well, but the truth is, a lot of people do that, Arthur.
Oh, fuck yeah, they do.
Oh, I will say, I shared screen caps when I had my big family dust up. I shared. Now I didn't put them public, but I did share screen caps with some people of other people talking shit about them because I was like, "This is the kind of people you're dealing with."
Yeah,
but that's it. I will admit to that. I don't normally do that, but I did.
I don't like to do that. I always say to the other person, if you have a problem with X, Y, and Z, whomever it is, I think that you need to confront, but this is what I always say, this is what I was told. This is my interpretation of what was said to me. My details may not be correct. I may be taking it out of context, but this is what was said. You should confront that person and talk to them about it in a mature manner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my prerogative on things, because it's not my business to have to make a decision between you and, you know, let's say it's you and Arthur, whom are having a disagreement with, and say, oh, you know, but Jacqueline, Arthur probably thinks that you're a fucking, you know, cunt and a half.
That's fair.
Probably doesn't you know what I mean? But what if he doesn't really think that, and he said something that was just out of anger? We all say things.
We say things in anger, and that's true.
Yeah. I don't know. Reading the screen caps though of like what this woman said, this shit wasn't taken out of context. It wasn't said out of anger. This is how she feels, and again, she should be ridiculed for it. Like I definitely agree there, because what she was saying was very fucking hateful, like very hateful. There's no other way of saying it. But yeah, no, there's this just weird undertone of the whole thing for me, because again, it's an invasion of privacy. You're trying to publicly shame this woman for a conversation that she had with a quote unquote friend. You know, and now it's public fucking knowledge. You were saying she lost her job?
Well, she lost her place in the party. I don't know if she even had a job. I don't know.
Oh, okay. But you know what I mean? It's and again, I'm not against that. Like, I'm not against the informing of employers that, hey, you know, your employee is a full blown fucking racist. I'm not against that, but I don't know. There's just this. It's weird to me. It's icky, kind of. Like, I don't know how to explain
Here's my solution to this. Racist. Keep your racist thoughts in your head. Don't share them.
True. Yeah, that's true.
Unless you're hanging out with other racists.
Yeah, exactly.
I love hearing it.
Like, my other thing about that is too, like for the girl who spread the business, it's like now a lot of people you would never be able to date somebody who's in the government because they probably would think you're a fucking whistleblower, right? It's like you also have to think about your character too as a whistleblower sometimes. It's I always think to myself when I'm about to say something that I'm probably not supposed to say, it's like, oh my God, I wonder how much shit would come back to haunt me after I say this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they just say things for the, again, we go back to society, the new society that we live in, it's instant gratification.
Yep.
You put things on Instagram because it's going to make you Insta famous. You put things on YouTube, it makes you YouTube famous and whatever other famouses there are. And that becomes your way of life. Yeah. You think that there needs to be instant gratification. You don't really have to have character anymore. You're just, I'm honest Tina because I tell everybody how it really is. But bitch, you're lonely because you got no friends. And you need to go kill yourself.
Oh shit.
Sorry.
I got dark.
It's good. Okay, I want to talk about 2 stories quickly before we end the show because this one makes me laugh, and I shouldn't laugh, but there's a contraceptive app. I guess it's got 700 people worldwide. App that tracks your cycle. It will tell you the best time to get pregnant. In America, it's kind of advertised as a fertility app to help you get pregnant. But in Europe, it's to help you, not get pregnant. But they've had at least 37 women seek abortions after using this birth control method. Bitch, if you're going to get an abortion, use regular birth control. Why using an app?
What the fuck?
Like, what the hell?
What the fuck?
I mean, the rhythm method is completely unpredictable and not necessarily a very good method to use. This is essentially the rhythm method.
Oh my God, people are dumb.
What's the rhythm method?
You track, okay, so if a woman should have a 28-day cycle and you track from your period and count the days, and counting the days will tell you when you should have an ovulation time and you don't have sex during that window. That's the main thing. They were doing that for hundreds of years, right? But if you're going to go out and get an abortion, I'm not saying you can't get an abortion, whatever, have an abortion. But if you're the kind of person that would get an abortion, I don't think that would be against your beliefs to use birth control. Use a condom at least. What the frick?
I do that all the time. I have abortions every day.
Oh my gosh, Ryan. Swallowing is not an abortion, girl.
That's a thing that's out there now.
Yes, I've heard that about the guys and their sperm
rely so much on technology for everything. I have heard, now I don't know how much truth is behind this, and I really haven't put that much effort into researching it, but there is apparently an app that, like, I'm so embarrassed to talk about this, that helps, for gay people, if you're a bottom, that helps you kind of figure out how clean you are down there before you know.
Oh, like, does it track your poops and stuff?
I don't know, Jacqueline. I don't know. I've never used this app. I am a woman.
Well, it kind of makes sense. I mean, that seems a little more.
There are parts of intimacy that I do not need to.
Well, and how safe is that data?
Of course, exactly. Like, I hate to say this. I feel like we're so reliant on technology. You guys know I am an Apple head. I love Apple products, right? Most of them, at least. And
more like applesauce.
Well, but I love them, okay? And I always try to buy the new phone or whatever. So I do have the new iPhone. The most social media-esque, or I guess weird, not weird, but like technologically advanced app I have on my phone is probably my banking app.
I don't even have banking apps on my computer or on my phone. The only apps I have are like like an advertisement app for like the flyers, and I have the newest one that I've been using is that HQ app, which is that trivia game.
Oh, the trivia game. I don't even have games.
Which I won, by the way, guys. I played for 2 weeks and I won. Now I only won $5.89. Oh, okay. But I still won.
That's still $5 you didn't have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, but I don't do a lot of things on my phone. Like the main thing I do on my phone, I don't know about you, Arthur, is call and text.
I watch videos and text.
Yeah, videos.
I don't even call that much.
Listen to music. I do. I don't do a lot of tracking. Now, yes, it has, because I still have a planner, like an agenda. I still put stuff on there physically. I have a desk calendar at work. I don't know. I don't want to call myself old school. I'm still very young. You know what I mean? Like, in all seriousness, I will tell my age. I'm 27. I'm still pretty old school when it comes to stuff like that. I guess it's because I like visual and physical things. I like to be able to touch it, feel it, see it, opposed to just like, if I lose my phone, which happens, knock on wood, which happens quite a bit to people, I don't want to feel like I relied so much on my phone I couldn't get to my next destination because everything was on my phone. So for me, it's like, I don't understand how some people can have an app like this tracking basically your next abortion.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah. Well, the website does say that it warns that 1 out of 100 women who use the app for a year may become pregnant. So with 400,000 users, 37 is the average, right?
That's a lot of people.
But still, yeah, please don't use this app. If you don't want to get pregnant, don't have sex or use contraception, okay?
Or swallow.
Well, that's a form of contraception, I guess. And then let's move on. The next story I want to talk about, we talked about this briefly on the Monday show, Arthur and I, about North and South Korea joining to make a women's ice hockey team. Well, now they've agreed to march together.
Yeah.
Single flag, a flag of the Korean Peninsula. And they'll walk in together and they'll leave the ceremonies together at the end of the Olympics, which is kind of nice.
Pretty cool. I mean,
they haven't done it. Apparently, they did it in the 2006 Winter Olympics in China. Yeah. So they're doing it again.
It's cool. I mean, good on them. I mean, diplomacy through sport. You know, that's pretty cool. It's a cool narrative to have.
Yeah, and that's great. And will be interesting. I did see that North Korea is sending 230 quote cheerleaders, which I believe are security forces.
Oh, guaranteed. They're like some fucking like deep ops, fucking like kung fu fucking masters, like, you know what I mean?
Like the KGB, right?
Yeah, exactly. The North Korean KGB. They're not fucking around with these people.
Yeah, cool. They're not letting anybody slip away this time.
I was really happy to read that this morning because again, like even on Monday, I was kind of like, I don't see it, I don't understand, whatever. But hearing that they're actually going through with it, it's cool. It's
very cool. Yeah.
It's kind of lighthearted, you know. It's a good bit of news.
Well, it's nice to have some nice news coming from North Korea.
Well, and that's
right,
it, right?
Because we don't get a lot of happy news coming from there. So this is not a threat of "I'm going to kill you now," South Korea. This is a threat. Let's work together. You know, it's kind of sad. I mean, you've got families separated still by North and South. The demilitarized zone and all that stuff. So at least this could be the first step. Who knows? One day in the future, they could be a unified Korea again. For real. I'm
still waiting to see the defectors though, because I'm still willing to wager some money that they're going to get a lot of defectors.
Yeah. Well, I think that's one of the main reasons that the Soviet Union never came to the 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles. I really do think that they were worried about the mass numbers of defectors.
Yeah, no doubt.
That was America. I mean, it's one thing to defect when you're in, France or Yugoslavia or someplace back then. But, I mean, America would have been the ideal for the Russians.
Oh, absolutely.
The Soviets.
And that would have hurt the Soviets that much more, knowing that, they defected to the epicenter of fucking capitalistic scum.
I remember during the Calgary Olympics back in '88, I don't know the exact number, but I remember there were defectors, and it was always big news when defectors, did their thing.
Oh, of course. Yeah. How could it not be?
Yeah, well, because that was it. You're talking about, capitalism wins again over communism. They stayed here. And you never really saw many stories about Americans, defecting to Russia.
Oh, no, not at all. It's one of my favorite arguments when I get into my, notorious fucking anti-communist arguments I get into. It's like, I've never heard of somebody defecting to fucking Venezuela. Like, you know what I mean? I've never heard of people fucking risking their lives in a raft to fucking defect to Cuba. So sorry, but no, it
doesn't work. True.
Cool.
So it'll be interesting. They're coming next month. We talked about it a little bit before then, and it should be interesting to see. I'm excited for the Olympics, as I said.
Same here.
And, Ryan, do you like watching the Winter Olympics, or are you just like?
I'm a Summer Olympics kind of a girl.
Yeah. Really?
Like, the Winter Olympics. There's not much.
Oh, it's also good. It's got the craziest sports.
You're
going down head first on a sled at like 200 kilometers an hour.
No.
Have you not seen all the dudes in their little tight outfits doing the bobsled and shit? But
yeah, you see all the bulges.
I
and
like
buns.
The fucking swimming. I like
the little speedos.
Almost popping out. Like I miss the days when they were wearing speedos and not these fucking long bullshits. Like,
they still do.
No more speedos.
I cannot think of the last time I seen board.
Divers still wear speedos. They wear speedos. In swimming, they wear those tight onesie things.
Okay, but they're not fucking board shorts.
No, they're still. You can still see all of Michael Phelps's. You know what's?
Yeah,
I love it.
His 20 gold medals.
Yeah, all his 20 gold medals. Bling bling.
I want him to come all over my fucking face.
Ryan.
Well,
we're still on the air. And he's not even attractive. He's got a deformed head.
I think that was the point.
I don't care. He's got 20 gold medals. Fuck that. Come all over my face.
Oh my god, no. I don't care how many medals you want. If you look like you got a potato for a head, I don't want nothing to do with you.
I'll take it. Yes, Michael Phelps, you're big.
Jesus Christ.
Have a good week.
Oh my god.
We'll be back on Sunday with Justin for our TV Attack edition, and we'll be back here Monday at 6:30 p.m. for our regular Bitter Knitters podcast. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.